Hey everybody, it's Captain Kyle, and I recently went to a toy show. Yes, and I picked up some really cool stuff, and I wanted to share my haul with you. So you can check it out, be jealous, be not jealous, that's totally up to you. But we are gonna have some fun revealing this toy haul to you guys. Now, the thing that I'm not gonna mention is the name of the show. There's a very good reason for that. Now, this particular toy show, I don't know if you've been to a toy show before, but most of the ones that you walk into, there's a table off to the side, and it has flyers that advertise other shows, and that's just their way of, in the community, helping each other out, which is awesome. This particular showrunner decided he's not gonna allow that. If you want to advertise your toy show, you need to pay money and be advertised in their pocket program, which not even everyone grabs. So I totally respect the right of the toy show runner to decide to not allow free advertising of other shows, even though a lot of them don't even compete with him. They're not the same weekend, and it's not like people aren't going to go to his show because they're going to the other shows. But I respect that he can do that. But at the same time, he needs to respect the fact that I can decide I'm not going to give him any free advertising. So I'm not going to mention the name of the show, but I will mention the next shows that I'm going to: Raiders of the Lost Toys in New Jersey, April Fool's Show, which is not on April Fool's Day, but the April Fool's Toy Show is in Delaware, and of course Botcon in Chicago, RetroCon in September, which is an awesome show, and TFCon Orlando. So keep an eye out for me at those shows. But I went to support the vendors, and I spent a little more than I should have, but these are really cool things, and I'm going to show them to you. Oh, but be right back. All right, so the first thing, some of these things that I got, I've had before, and I've reacquired, and some of them I've never had before. This first one is a reacquisition, and he is one big mofo. This, as I snip off the price tag, is Omega Supreme. Yeah, it's not G1. This one I think was from Energon or Cybertron, one of those. He's pretty cool. He transforms into like a giant train. He is missing one missile, so he's only got one missile, but he's got his head, he's got everything else, to my knowledge. And yeah, it's really cool that I could reacquire this. And just one thing, when I go to a toy show, I generally don't pay what the price tag is. And it's not because they say, oh my God, it's Captain Kyle. And that bullshit. I am not that famous. There were some pretty famous YouTubers there. Check out my Instagram and you'll see. But I always negotiate, not like a prick, but I always ask if they can do better, see if we can come down a little bit, and I would say 99 times out of 100, I do it. Once in a while, I won't bother because it's such a low price. And there's actually an example of that. But I will likely do a old style review on him, but this was the first thing that I got in my, well, it's not the first thing I got there, but this was the reacquisition that I got there. One of the reacquisitions that were very cool to get, but I'm not transferring him right now. This is all about the haul. The actual first item that I purchased there was this guy, and he is a Gobot, I believe. I'm not trying to step on Patriot Prime's toes. And I am just curious, I forget his name, and I'm going to see if Google Lens can figure it out when he's in this vehicle mode. So his name is Bugbite, which there's actually a Transformer by that name who is kind of a Gobot. So I suspected that was his name, but I wasn't 100% sure, and he certainly doesn't look a lot like the current Bugbite. He does look a lot like Bumblebee in this mode. But if you've not seen this guy, I'm just gonna quickly transform him, because this is a cautionary tale. Now, I did talk him down on the price, for which I am glad, because otherwise I'd be a little distraught after I discovered one thing about this particular figure. The issue is he's got a broken arm, like totally broken off. It's gone. I mean, it's not much of an arm. And I have to say that the new Hasbro one looks a bit better as a overall toy. It looked in really good shape. I should have asked if I could remove it and examine it. I didn't pay full price, for which I'm happy. And in actuality, I wasn't planning on adding this to my collection. My lodger is a big fan of Volkswagen Beetles, and so this is going right to him after this video. But yeah, take this as a cautionary tale, examine thoroughly, and transform, if they'll allow you to, vintage toys that are loose. Because yeah, the broken arm kind of reduces this in value a bit, but I didn't pay a ton. And again, I talked him down on his price anyway, so it's all good. He will go back into beetle mode and sit on a shelf in my lodger's room. All good. Another thing I picked up was this sweep, complete with his cyber key, which, if you are familiar, they just did a reissue of the mold this guy is based on. The key does not seem to, there we go. There it stays in now. And it does come with his instructions and his card. I bought this as one of 3 Botcon exclusives. And this is one that I used to have, and I actually am glad because he may be appearing in a future video because he's not the only one who uses this mold. Now, he is a remolded head, Botcon exclusive, but he is a sweep. There is a slightly differently colored version of this mold with the same head who is called Scourge. But I was glad to reacquire him, and again, I did get a bit of a discount on this guy. There's no shame. I'm actually going to put a link to a video. It's on my other channel, but that video I go through 10 tips getting deals at cons, and it's just, you can save a little bit of money. But always remember, don't be a prick to the vendor. Most vendors just trying to make a living. This is how they do it. And usually if they can wiggle a little bit on the price, but still make a profit, you don't want to like rip them off, make them take a loss. But at the same time, you might be able to get a couple bucks off. But let's move on to a Botcon exclusive that I never had before. I think this was like 2014. I stopped going to Botcons in 2011. Well, 2011 was my last one. And this is Battletrap. He is no longer a Duocon in this form, though of course a later version he would be back to Duocon form, but he is a triple changer. He is a repaint, so he may end up in a repaint video of Springer. And again, I'm not going to go through transforming him now, but he's complete. He's got his missiles, he's got his gun, he's got his sword, got his instructions. I got his card that tells all about his rather abrasive personality. So another cool acquisition. Very happy to get this. And again, got a little bit of a deal. So I'm going to show you the last Botcon one, and then we'll go on to some of the other stuff. I mean, I didn't buy out the place. I saw someone at this particular show, a vendor came out rolling one of those luggage carts with 2 statues on it that weighed about 30-something pounds apiece, that someone had bought the 2 of them for $1,100. It was a Batman statue and a Superman statue. To me, that's a little more than I usually spend at a toy show. But what I got was Windblade. She is complete with her sword and looks very cool in these colors. Now, this one did not happen to come with all the paperwork, which is a shame, but she looks cool nonetheless. And I don't think she is shattered glass because her Autobot symbol is still red. So I suspect she is not shattered glass, just a different coloration. Might try to figure out a new name for her so she could associate with the other Windblade and, you know, they could be compatriots. Obviously, I love repaints. And so pretty much when you're going to Botcon, you're going to get a repaint, possibly with a remold. The other 2 remolded heads. This one, not remolded, but a cool Botcon exclusive. Again, I stopped going after 2011. And the reason I stopped going to Botcon is because Fun Publications at the time, I felt their practices were getting very, very money-grubbing. I mean, I don't mind paying for exclusives, and the box sets they're putting out were great. But in addition to their Primus package, which was like $300-400 bucks, which included the box set, and then you could buy more, you know, souvenir 2-packs and stuff like that. It was already expensive to go, and then they came up with the gold Primus package, which gave you like front row seating at all the panels, and I don't think there was much else beyond that, but it was just kind of like maybe getting into the other room early. It was basically the VIP package for like $900 bucks or some ridiculous amount, and I was just like, yeah, that was kind of when I started backing off a little bit from Transformers and led to the Purge, which, if you know what the Purge is, I sold a lot of my Transformers. Not all of them, but a good portion. Got good money, but I miss them so much. If I could go back in time, I would say, dude, don't sell. Just start a YouTube channel. If I had started way back then, I mean, I would be, you know, the one that Dan Larson wants to take a picture with rather than me wanting to take a picture with Dan Larson. I mean, I'd probably still want to take a picture with him because he's a cool guy. Secret Galaxy. Look it up. So the new Botcon, by the way, not run by Fun Publications. A lot of the pre-Fun Publications guys are involved, and it's a totally different con and much more for the fans than for the greed. I'm sorry, Fun Publications. I think they started to get greedy, and yeah, at least it's not HasCon I didn't go to. Now I'm going to show you the one item that I did not actually bargain with the guy. and it's actually not a Transformer or a Gobot or anything like that. It is Lieutenant Starbuck from Battlestar Galactica, the original, not the reimagining. Now, I loved the original Battlestar Galactica. It was a great show. It only lasted like one season. Then they went into Galactica in 1980, which had some problems. Started out actually not bad, then had some problems. And interestingly enough, the one episode that they had Starbuck in was probably the best episode of that entire show. But he should be holding a gun. He's not holding a gun. This was $5. I wasn't going to be like, will you take 3? I wasn't going to nickel and dime the vendor. I was just like, I like Starbuck. I'll get him. And maybe I'll find some kind of gun that I can kind of put in his hands since, you know, and he doesn't stand the best. I think he might have had the, looks like a, maybe broken off in there. He might have had some kind of stand that he came with, but it was just an impulse buy, $5, and I have a Starbuck. I mean, he's not exactly going to hang out with Optimus Prime, but he's pretty cool, and he falls over. And I actually had the pleasure of moderating his panel at RetroCon, which again, great con, coming up in September, retrocons.com. And moderating is kind of a stretch because he came in and just started talking to the audience, which was fine, made my job easy. I think I basically said a few things, asked him like one question, which was a follow-up to something you said. And anyways, if you're a fan of the old style Battlestar Galactica, which I do like the new series as well, it was, you know, really well done. And oh boy, Starbuck, I'm gonna tell the old man about you. Oh, you know, great actors. Still hoping Michael Hogan, who suffered an accident and played Colonel Ty in the new series, is doing well and recovering. He's definitely a great guy, prolific actor, and, you know, it's a loss that he is unable to work right now. But I did like the new one, and Kara Thrace, of course, played by Katie Sackhoff, did a great job, though I will say her character was probably a bit more masculine than the original Starbuck. Just saying. All right, back to Transformerish items. Now this looks like it was opened and maybe retaped, but I was able to talk him down. This is another version of Sandstorm. I got the one that was the remold of Beachcomber. This one, I don't know if he's a remold of anybody in particular. I don't think I have this one. Pretty sure I don't. And I got a deal. And yeah, always like alternate versions. Of course, he's not a triple changer. He's also not a Decepticon Jet. But Sandstorm may show up in a video. We will see. But it was another cool find. Now this one, I just thought he was cool looking. So he's definitely, you know, people complain about shell formers. He's definitely that. He's called Claws. Isn't that right? And Leo has come to join to talk about his experience not going to the toy show. But he would agree RetroCon is like the best one. I'm a little biased. But yeah, so Claws actually becomes a spaceship. And again, I'm not trying to step on Patriot Prime's Gobot toes because those are die-cast and would probably hurt. But yeah, he basically, the shell closes, you push those forward and you push in the legs, and he's some kind of rolling vehicle. I don't know if he's a futuristic car or kind of like he should be a spaceship. But he rolls, or if he's supposed to be some kind of boat. I don't know. It was a Renegade Gobot. Apparently there is a Transformers version of him. And yes, he is a spaceship. So yeah, almost called him Spacey, but that's somebody different. I need to locate the Claws. Though it looks like he never appeared as a toy, only in comics. So be nice if we had a toy, Hasbro, now that you own the rights to all these guys. Continuing down the rabbit hole of weird stuff, this is Focus. He is a converter. He is not a Gobot. He is not a Transformer. And it is kind of funny that when I looked him up to find out his name, it said, you know, he was a Selectron converter, which was a competitor of Transformers in the 80s. I would not say they were even close to a competitor. Gobots, yes. Converters, no. But he is very cool. And as you might guess from his name, he transforms into a camera. It's a pretty clever transformation. I actually just fortunately popped the arm off, and it looks like since it's not a ball joint, I may have to do a little bit repair work there. I mean, he is from the 80s. It popped back on. Hopefully it will stay on. But again, a clever transformation. I still may need to do some maintenance on him. But he becomes a camera. He's kind of like Reflector. I don't know if he had any additional accessories. He has this like film advance thing and the button to actually take the picture. I don't know if it's a shutter or what do they call it. I'm not a photographer. I do a little videography. And yeah, I'm probably gonna have to fix the arm. The particular vendor who I got this from and the Claws spaceship, friend of mine, he cut me a deal. I'm not going to go back and complain that a 40-year-old toy that was probably on the brink broke, but I have some repair skills. I got skills. So focus, the converter, Selectron converter. Pretty cool. Only one more to go and you can escape. This is apparently a Fan Toys Insecticon. I'm sorry, he's a Fans Project CA03 Thundershred, which is a cool name. He's inspired by Shrapnel. Obviously does not look that much like Shrapnel in his robot mode, but you can see where some things are. And I'm just gonna call him Thundershred and make him an honorary Decepticon, Insecticon. He can join the team. I'll probably do a review on him at some point, but I believe he is complete. He's got his gun, he's got all his legs, he's got his claws, and he's part of the Fans Project Causality series, Causality, something like that. I don't know, that's what the internet's telling me. But pretty cool. Again, I got him at a discounted price and they weren't asking too much for him at the time. So in fact, since I didn't know exactly who he was, the vendor was kind enough for me to be able to take it out of the bag, which is in the other room, and Google Lens it so I could identify it because I knew it wasn't an actual Transformer. I knew it was some kind of third party. But very cool. I have gotten some awesome things at toy shows and some kind of, impulse things. It's like, what am I doing here? Dang it. But there you have, this was my last toy show haul. Again, I'm not going to say the name of the show. He doesn't get free advertising. And again, I respect that. I'm not going to get free advertising either. But I did enjoy supporting the vendors, picking up some really cool stuff, getting something for my best friend / lodger, because, bug. There you have it. But I would love to hear from you. What's the coolest thing that you got at a toy show? Let me know in the comments. That would be very nice to know. You might make me jealous. I might have made you jealous some of this stuff. You can make me jealous. It's all good. But while you are mulling these guys over, and I will put links, so if you want to go to eBay and try to get these guys, you can feel free to do that. So the links will be in the description. But while you're mulling over these guys or thinking about it, or thinking about your next toy show that you might go to, you can actually check out this video over here, which is the evolution of Scourge, his leader. And we'll see you next time. As always, have fun and good hunting.